Utopia is a text analytics company. We provide advanced AI services, and this Utopia Advanced AI follows the ethical AI principles. User experience on a dating app or a social community is very important. Looking at this content on the screen, this is something almost no one would like to see on their app. So for example, in the first picture, there is an image of an animal as a profile picture. Or on the second one, there are content which is against the community guidelines. And third, there is some hate speech in the messaging between users. And there are also some scam messages. In this talk, I'll go through how abusive content can be handled with using advanced AI. First, we need to define what AI means. There are very many definitions on that, and one of the most basic ones is to consider all computer programs as artificial intelligence. The next level is to have a rule-based system, manually written rules to analyze data, and call that as an AI system. A bit more advanced way is to combine business information, for example, company-specific business information, having an AI system like that. Then we have the traditional AI tools which use machine learning together with rules and word lists when analyzing human languages, text content. And then in the end, we have advanced AI, which is always machine learning, but it also understands the semantic meaning in text and the semantic meaning in the context where the text is. When using advanced AI, the most crucial thing is good quality data. If there is no data, there can't be any AI algorithm. So when using advanced AI, there needs to be a way to get data. This data should be about user behavior. So our topic is about user experience, how to manage a healthy community where the users are happy to spend their time. There are always users who don't behave in the community, and the dating app providers, they need some content moderation because of this. We all know who have built this kind of moderation tools that word lists and manually created rules are not accurate enough in understanding informal English or informal other languages or even formal other languages. But if you use advanced AI, which carefully checks how humans have been accepting or declining content, this is able to make much more accurate moderation work. And this advanced AI can be used for moderation of user profiles, images, messages, whatever user-generated content in the platform. The question is how to use advanced AI. As you learned, it is very skilled, so how to use it in practice. So the first thing, of course, in an online community and on a dating app is to create your own community guidelines. You have your own type of users, you have your own type of service, so you need to define what kind of behavior by the user is okay on this platform. And for example, what kind of things you consider as abusive content? Talking about abusive content on the whole in different kind of social platforms, there are some different types of them. So first kind of abusive content is bad behavior, even violent kind of content. It can be repeated impoliteness, cyberbullying, and other kind of just simple bad behavior. Then there's hate speech. There are many definitions for this, but it can be considered as an attack based on demographics, meaning background information on the other users, for example, sexual orientation, gender, religion. Hate speech in some countries is illegal. Then in the dating apps, it is unfortunately quite common that there are scammers on the sites, different kind of Nigerian sort of ways to get money, cam goals, links to other types of apps from this app. And then there's the different types of sexual harassment, which can be as any unwelcome sexual behavior, offensive or humiliating behavior. And one very important thing of all of these is that they can be a crime, illegal actions. And because of that, it is very important that this kind of behavior is prohibited from the dating app. Utopia has Utopia AI Moderator tool, which is this kind of advanced AI tool, and it learns from human moderators' decisions how to moderate the content. So those humans know how to read the user profiles, how to read the messages, whatever content, user-generated content there is. The humans know what is what are the community guidelines and the moderation policy. They know the culture, what kind of things are considered as not good behavior, and they of course know the local legislation. And when those humans have done moderation decisions for the profile content or the messages or other content in the app, this data can be used for Utopia AI Moderator to learn to do the same in real time. It takes only 2 weeks to build this AI model, and after that it is immediately ready to use in production quality. This tool makes new moderation decisions for any new content coming in any language automatically. And it also learns more. As we all know, the world changes all the time. There come new words, new kind of things appear to the platform. This tool is able to learn more, and it is provided as a service. So Utopia maintains the AI model. So having this kind of tool available, there can be something that be done with deleting users. Many dating apps need to delete users who don't follow the community guidelines. This is naturally quite bad for the business, but of course you need to do it because otherwise the other users would get not happy and leave. So using advanced AI, if there's a possibility to educate some type of users to tell automatically that their behavior in the profile text or in the messaging is no good. This, of course, doesn't apply to scammers or those more illegal actions, but it would be a very good way to let the users know that now your text was violent and this is the reason why we don't publish it to the other users. These advanced AI tools are very accurate in noticing this kind of bad behavior, and they always follow your moderation policy, your community guidelines. And this advanced AI can also tell in the conversations between users when one of the users or both of them start to get abusive. So this kind of prediction is totally possible. This is another Utopia AI tool which may be interesting. Traditionally, matching is done. Well, there are very many different ways to match users on a dating app. But for example, it can be by asking questions from the user about the user themselves and the preferences, and then use some psychological or other knowledge to write rules or use AI tool to connect preferences and the other user's information. Or it can be just that the app shows profiles of other users and the users make the decision, the matching themselves. In the Utopia AI way, this would be done from data. Creating a very successful advanced AI matching would need information of the goal, what the business has. So you need to know what you want to provide for your users with these matching algorithms. The goal could be, for example, that you want to provide long-term relationships for your user. For example, users who are together over 6 months is considered as a successful match. Or it can be a bit shorter-term relationship. For example, the user deleted the app due to a relationship, perhaps after a few weeks after meeting someone in the app. The goal can be getting a date for the user. So the user might inform that they agreed a date through the app. Or it can be even shorter term thing, a connect between two users. For example, there were over 5 messages sent back and forth between 2 users. So this would be considered as a successful match in your dating app. Or it can be even less. Both the users agree to match each other, so they want to start a conversation. So that level would be the goal. Or just a user receives a match. It is your call. What is your goal for your app? What kind of matching algorithm you would have? When you have decided what is your goal, after that you need to collect the data. And starting to collect the data is very important to start right away, because it may take some time to get enough amount of training data for the advanced AI. And when you are ready, we at Utopia can build the AI model and provide it as a service. So in this way, having information how your earlier users have been able to connect with each other, you would be able to build the best ever dating app for your users, because it is according to your own goals, what kind of service you want to provide. We have a very powerful AI tool which can do a lot of different kind of things, also bad things. And we really have to think how to use this kind of AI tool. Utopia, for example, relies on the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, especially freedom of speech and equal treatment among different users. Talking about equal treatment, and in my personal opinion, it's very, very okay that individuals choose their relationships or flings or whatever they want to have according to their own personal preferences. There's no need to limit this kind of activities. As companies or as platforms for social communities, is it ethical or is it right to treat female users in a different way than male users in a social community or dating app? For example, by providing different prices for females and males. If this sounds right, let's have the next question. Is it okay to give different prices for different skin colors? What about different eye colors? And even further, is it okay to have different prices for people up north than people in the south? These are difficult ethical questions. And when looking at this from a different angle using advanced AI, would it be okay to do user profiling in a way that you have all the different information about each individual? You have the age, the gender, the whatever background information, very many different things from each user. And you would do user profiling to build a healthy community in a way that those users who are interesting from other users' point of view would get lower prices than those others who wouldn't be interested. Would that be okay? Would that be ethical? What about using the interestingness from the other user's point of view only? These are some difficult ethical questions I want to raise. So as a summary, to have a fair and toxic-free community in a dating app or in social communities, it is very important to create community guidelines and show them to the users. Then there are these ethical questions to answer and to decide how to work. Then you need accurate tools to make sure your users are following your guidelines. And in this way, you're able to increase the user experience and value for you from the users.